Such Vidiocy.
Hey yo, he's got theories, she's got theories, we've got theories too. Theories on games, theories on movies, maybe even theories on you. So sit back, relax, focus on your screen, and get ready to see. On your phone, computer, tablet, whatever, it's another Vidiotic theory.
You'd think the robot couldn't get hiccups, but Mega Man proved that wrong. Just listen. You're welcome.
Mario, Pokemon, two of Nintendo's most beloved and well-known franchises. But what's not so well-known is, what's Mario's favorite Pokemon? Well, we here at Vidiotic Theories can confidently state that Mario's favorite Pokemon is none other than Piplup. How do we know? We heard it from the man himself. Listen. In New Super Mario Bros.
Like a penguin. The second one is that he sounds like a penguin. And the third one is that he has flippers. Well, there you have it. Shy Guy is definitely a penguin.
Shy Guy is not a penguin. First off, take a look at his mask. It's almost completely flat. Where's he hiding a beak in that thing? Secondly, as far as his voice goes, that doesn't sound like a penguin. It's more like one of the adults in the Peanuts cartoons. Come to think of it, they like to hide their faces too, so maybe Shy Guy's one of the adults from the Peanuts cartoons. One thing Shy Guy is not, though, is a penguin. And now for a final word on this subject, let's send it out to our penguin expert, Alex.
I like penguins.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Shy Guy is not a penguin.
Shy Guy is a penguin.
Well, I guess we're just going to have to agree to disagree on this one. But Magic Koopa? He is a cat.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I like cats.
You're welcome. Since before it was even released, gamers have been speculating about where The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild falls within the official Legend of Zelda timelines. Having played the game now, we have a few more clues. For instance, the appearance of the Temple of Time, in a ruined state no less, tells us that Breath of the Wild likely takes place after Ocarina of Time. Still, the question remains, on which of the three timelines does Breath of the Wild appear? Well, we here at Vidiocy can confidently state that Breath of the Wild takes place on the What If timeline. Where on that timeline does it fall, you may ask? Why, right before Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. That's because Breath of the Wild is a remake of The Legend of Zelda. Not so much an actual remake, but a reimagining. The Legend of Zelda as it should have been, could have been, would have been, had the technology been there at the time. Several clues within the new game allude to this fact. For instance, Link's first view of Hyrule when he emerges from the cave in which he has been sleeping for 100 years looks very similar to this image in the instruction manual for the original game. Also in that instruction manual, we see an elder Impa conversing with Link. Several times in Breath of the Wild, Link interacts with Impa, who is quite aged within the game. Finally, at the beginning of The Legend of Zelda, Link meets an old man who helps him out in beginning his quest, just like in Breath of the Wild. So there you have it. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild takes place toward the end of the What If timeline by taking the place of The Legend of Zelda. You're welcome.
Here at Vidiocy, we believe that, much like Breath of the Wild, Final Fantasy 15 is also a remake of the first game in the series. Why? For starters, both games begin with a prologue mentioning a prophecy, 4 warriors, and a world veiled in darkness. You control a party of 4, much like the originals, 4 warriors of light. Finally, all the side quests in the new game, where you get money for hunting down so many monsters, makes a perfect explanation for how you always get gold in Final Fantasy for killing monsters that shouldn't have gold. Sharks?
Wait, is that seriously all you've got for this month?
Yep.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. The 2014 indie game Shovel Knight has many throwbacks to classic games, but one that you might not have noticed is that the main character, Shovel Knight, is Garland from the original Final Fantasy.
How did we never see that before?
You're welcome.
Nintendo is a company known for its family-friendly games, but some of its titles can be subversively dirty. What's the dirtiest Nintendo game of all time, you ask? Why, that's simple. It's the cunt. Oh yeah, you're welcome.
Scorpion from Mortal Kombat is Ghost Rider. You're welcome.
In The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, Zelda and Link clearly have a deep bond. But what's the basis for that bond? Is it merely that of a princess and her protector, or is it something more? No, I'm not suggesting that the pair have any amorous affection. Clearly, Link's heart belonged to the fallen Zora warrior Mipha. Actually, I believe that this iteration of Link and Zelda are brother and sister. Now I know what you're thinking. Nowhere in the story does it suggest, either subtly or overtly, that this is the case, and even King Hyrule himself doesn't make any mention of Link having that sort of a relationship with his daughter. I propose that they could have been hidden away at birth to protect either themselves or the world at large. I mean, it's not like we've seen that happen before. Heck, Link and Zelda even have a similar verbal ring to Luke and Leia. So it is my proposal that in The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, Link and Zelda are brother and sister. You're welcome. In the game Sonic and the Black Knight, the bulk of the story supposedly takes place in, well, a storybook. But we here at Vidiotic Theories believe that it actually takes place in another type of fantasy world, the fantasy world of a video game. What video game? Why, Final Fantasy IV, or Final Fantasy II on the SNES. Final Fantasy IV? Final Fantasy II. Final Fantasy IV. Anyway, what's the evidence for this theory? 2 words. Mist dragons. Mist dragon? Mist dragons. Anyway, you're welcome.
It is well known that, during his adventures in The Lord of the Rings, Peregrine Took, better known as Pippin, had a few int drafts. We have Vidiotic theories believe that he kept on taking these drafts well after his last documented drink retrieval at the outskirts of Isengard. These drafts, in addition to increasing height, darken one's complexion, and increase one's lifespan. I mean, that sounds like ants, doesn't it? This would help Pippin in his next career, but he became an NBA player under the phony first name, Scotty, to avoid the undue attention. You're welcome. In the Japanese version of a Pokemon game, there's a book that says that humans and Pokemon were once the same, which means Ash's ancestors were once Pokemon. Which means Ash will become a Pokemon because everything has to come full circle because that's how the circle of life works. You're welcome.
I agree that Ash will one day become a Pokemon, but for other reasons. In a Japanese version of the Gen 4 games, you can find a book that says Pokemon and humans were once the same. Pokemon as we know them are simply evolved humans. Humans like Ash are behind, meaning one day he will evolve to become a Pokemon. You're welcome.
Hey, maybe that's why Ash never grows up in the anime, because if he did, they'd have to show him as a Pokemon. You're welcome! Twice now, we've seen a Saiyan achieve the form of legendary Super Saiyan. First, Broly in the movies, and more recently, Kale in Dragon Ball Super. The key to both of these transformations seems to have been an intense hatred of the series' main protagonist, one Son Goku. Why then has another Saiyan not achieved this form? It is our belief at Vidiotic Theories that Vegeta does not in fact hate Goku.
Does that mean he loves him?
So, in conclusion, Vegeta may not particularly like Goku, they may be more frenemies than bosom buddies, but Vegeta most certainly does not hate the one he calls Kakarot. You're welcome.
Why does Mega Man die when he steps on spikes? It must be because he has a self-destruct button on his foot. And who would put such a thing on a robot? Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz. That's right, Doof created Mega Man.
Then why does Mega Man explode when he hits his head on spikes?
Multiple self-destruct buttons.
True, we have seen that from Dr. D.
You're welcome. In one of the endings of Chrono Trigger, we see that Frog ends up as Molly's ancestor. But at the end of the PlayStation version, we see that Frog turns into his human form, aka Glenn. And with his Saiyan spiky hair and his skills with the blade, we have Vidiotic theories believe that he is the ancestor to another one of the main characters with Saiyan hair and superior sword skills. Of course I'm talking about
Chrono, if you prefer.
Whatever you call him. We believe that he is descended from Glenn. You're welcome.
Speaking of Chrono Trigger, some people think that the main protagonist in the game, Chrono, doesn't speak because he's supposed to be the stand-in for the player. But what if there's a different, more sinister reason? What if he, like King Black Bolt in Marvel's new property Inhumans, doesn't speak because he has a deadly voice, and opening his mouth would cause the destruction of anyone or anything in front of him, including his own parents? What if he is in fact an Inhuman? Maybe. Maybe not. But gives you something to think about, right? You're welcome.
So, what am I doing on here?
You're going to help me with this month's Vidiotic Theory.
What is that?
It's our monthly parody series where we present unwarranted, unsupported, or just unnecessary theories.
So, what do I need to do?
Well, first off, get in position. Okay, so you know how Robert Pattinson played Cedric Diggory in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and also Edward Cullen in all the Twilight films?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, it's my theory there's a reason the same actor played both roles. In fact, I think that Harry Potter and Twilight take place in the same world, and Cedric Diggory is, in fact, Edward Cullen.
Are there even vampires in the Harry Potter series?
Sure, in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, we hear about Professor Quirrell having a run-in with a vampire, and in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, we find out that Professor Lockhart has written a book called Voyages of Vampires. And in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, at Professor Slughorn's Christmas party, we actually get to meet a vampire named Sanguini.
But didn't Voldemort kill Cedric?
Well, see, it was actually Wormtail, Peter Pettigrew, who held the wand that cast the curse on Cedric. And in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Barty Crouch Jr., disguised as Mad-Eye Moody, explains to the students that the Avada Kedavra curse needs a powerful bit of magic behind it to actually work. So it's my theory that Peter Pettigrew, not being much of a wizard, didn't have quite enough juice to finish Cedric off, just put him at death's doorstep. So then, Cedric's body gets returned, Carla Cullen happens to be in the UK, meets the dying boy, bingo bango, new vampire.
But what about Edward's backstory?
Well, see, vampires and wizards both have to keep their world concealed, secret from the outside world, so I think that he couldn't reveal that he was once a wizard, even though he's now a vampire, so fake backstory. But that's just a theory.
A Vidiotic theory.
You're welcome.
In the anime Himoto Umaru-chan, the main character Umaru-chan can seamlessly transform between a tall and slender, normal-looking 16-year-old girl and a smaller, squatter, chibi version of herself. This isn't just a visual metaphor, as other characters can see the two different versions, and in some cases even think she's two different people. But, how does that happen? Seriously, I have no idea.
In the animated television series Steven Universe, some of the crystal gems can shapeshift, in the process becoming bigger or smaller.
So,
That's my idea.
So you think Umaru-chan's a crystal gem? Makes more sense than anything else.
You're welcome.
In the first cave in the original Legend of Zelda, Link meets an old man that gives him the wooden sword, as well as the advice that it is dangerous to go alone. Throughout his journey in the land of Hyrule, Link will meet many similar-looking old men that give him advice, other items, and sometimes take his money for blowing up their doors. But who are these old men? What if I told you that we here at Vidiotic Theories believe that these old men are in fact one old man? Someone with enough magic to make himself appear to be in many places at once, as well as the knowledge to know that it would be in fact dangerous to go on this journey alone. What if I told you that we here at Vidiotic Theories believe that this old man is none other than one of the previous incarnations of the legendary hero? In other words, another Link. You're welcome.
Link
Dad said I couldn't be a gymnast!
shields of in like a boss is Legolas.
Gimli, bring me my horse. I'm mounted this side. No, fools, you're going this way!
I'm gonna shield stuff down the stairs. Ha ha! You're welcome.
In the original Super Mario Bros., toads are giants. Think about it. Mario starts off as little Mario, and he has to take a magic mushroom in order to become Super Mario. But then, when you get to the end of every castle, excluding number 8, you run into a Toad who's easily twice the size of regular Mario, meaning that, in the original Super Mario Bros., Toads are giants. And also dirty woman stealers. I got your back, Shy Guy. You're welcome.
Have you ever wondered what Pokemon Go team some of your favorite characters on? Well, thanks to the recent Dragon Ball Super arc, we might then know one of them. Since Goku goes Ultra Instinct, that means he's on Team Valor! Go Valor!
Team Mystic!
You're welcome. Go Team Valor.